Right, we're going to take a look at how we can compare nucleotide sequences between two different species. Now, because now that we know so much about genetics and we run so many different nucleotide sequences in species, we can use these nucleotide sequences to determine how closely related two species are, like when was their most recent common ancestor. So the more nucleotide sequences that they have in common will indicate the more closely related they are. So if you were to compare two different species and they had a certain percentage similar compared to another couple species that had a different percentage similar, the ones that have the highest percentage of nucleotide sequences similar would be more related. In this activity, we're going to actually go and look at the nucleotide sequences of a couple species, and then you're going to go back and compare that to another set of species to see who's more related. So this is the gene bank, and this is where actually scientists from all over the world will publish gene sequences that they have decoded. And this particular gene that we're going to be looking at is a gene that's found in the mitochondria of most eukaryotic organisms called cytochrome C. It's found in the mitochondria, and it's really important for, as you can guess, cell respiration. And small differences in that particular gene have happened through evolution. And that gives us those little differences in that gene allow us to see how closely related different eukaryotic species are. We're going to focus our search today on bears. I want to look at the brown bear, or otherwise known as the grizzly bear, but the brown bear is found kind of all over the world. And we're going to compare that to another bear, say the American black bear. And we're going to look at those two different genome sequences. So when you're here at this website, you're going to go to the search tab and you're going to type in COX-1, and that is indicating the cytochrome C gene. And then I'm going to just type in brown bear. You can put in the scientific name if you want, Ursus arctos, if you know it, but you can type in the common name and hopefully you can get a pretty straightforward selection there. Okay, so it's going to take us to the search engine, and this one, I think it's only going to give us the one here. We've got the main one, right? So Ursus arctos brown bear, cytochrome C. I'm going to hit that, and we're going to take it to the gene sequencing page. This gene sequencing page has a whole bunch of information on it, but the information, like, where it's located and some of the genomic context, but we are most interested in, we want to actually see that nucleotide sequence. So I'm going to go down to genomic regions, transcripts, and products, and just over here where it says FASTA, I'm going to click that, and that's going to take us to a page that's going to show us the nucleotide sequence, all the A's, T's, C's, and G's. So you can see all those here. And there's another here, this reference sequence. This reference sequence is particular for this sequence for the brown bear. So this could come in handy later on when you're making some comparisons. All right, and now we're going to go to a sequencer that will allow us to compare this sequence for the cytochrome C gene for the brown bear to another species. So I'm going to hit Run Blast. And that's going to take us to this sequencer, and I'm going to click this little box that says Align two or more sequences. Now, as I said, that there's that reference number that we saw before for the FASTA sequence number. We're going to go look up the FASTA sequence number for another species, and we're going to paste it in here. Now, I don't want to leave this page, so I'm going to open a new tab. And then I'm going to go back to the gene bank. I think I probably just need to pull up my bookmark here. So I'm going to go over to my gene bank, which is here, same starting point that we had last time. And now instead of the brown bear, we're going to do COX-1 for the black bear. And I think it's the American black bear, so I might be more specific if I can. Now you're going to be doing this again on your own, so you might maybe want to type in the panda bear or the polar bear. That would be a good one to run against the grizzly bear because I think they're pretty closely related. So, or you could do the panda bear, some other, any other cool bears. The sun bears are pretty amazing as well. All right, now I'm hitting search. And American black bear, cytochrome C. Okay, that's the one that I want. And now I'm going to scroll down again to the FASTA sequence. I'm going to click on that. And now I want this FASTA sequence number. And I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to go back to the original tab and I'm going to paste it. Then I'm going to scroll on down and I'm going to hit blast. So now I'm comparing the grizzly bear to the brown bear. I'm sorry, the brown bear to the black bear. It takes a second. And then when it gets down here, you can see in the percent similarities is 91.13. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you can go back and run this again, but you could do the grizzly bear versus the polar bear, or the grizzly bear versus something else. So then you can see, is the grizzly bear more closely related to the black bear or this other bear that you're looking up? You could even go in and maybe look at other, like dogs or something kind of similar to get some of these percent similarities.